The fact that God created us in his image and likeness, and we have the understanding that God is the author of every and anything that is created in this world, is the reason why you and I should dare to be unique and dare to dream. The uncreated creator has the capacity to turn anything into something meaningful. The reason I'm saying this is because as we dig into Genesis chapter 5 today, we see the difference in genealogy. We see the uniqueness in some people versus some people that just lived a certain way. So Genesis chapter 5 verses 1 to 2 was reiterating God's creation and how he created Adam and Eve and then called them mankind. Now, the interesting part for me begins with verse 3 of Genesis chapter 5. The Bible says, and Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness after his image and named him Seth. Just follow me. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Then in 6, we see Seth repeating the same cycle. Seth lived 105 years. He begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 920 years, and he died. So from verses 3 of Genesis chapter 5 to as far as 22 of Genesis chapter 5, it was literally the same thing being repeated. It was basically a 6-step process, and that was it. So the same happened to Adam, Enosh, Cainan, Mahalalel, Jared, and Enoch. At the point where it got to Enoch, as we would see in verse 22, there was a slight change in the cycle, which made a huge difference. So Genesis chapter 5 verse 22, the Bible says, after he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. In the other cycle of the grandparents or the grandfathers of Enoch, we see that this line was not in their story, but we see a difference in Enoch's life because he walked with God even though he had sons and daughters, which means that other people equally had the opportunity to do the same thing, but they did not do it. They just followed through that 6-step process. But when it got to Enoch, he changed a bit. And we see what happened to Enoch. Because the Bible says, so all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. He did not die, unlike the other people in whose record there was, and he died. You know, it was mostly like the last thing in that cycle. They check 1 to 5, and at 6 they die. But in his case, he was not. So our prayer point is that God, whatever situation that we find ourselves, that we will not be afraid to step outside of the box to do great things.